In the shadow of ancient temples and under the weight of centuries, a question echoes through the halls of history. Does God fail? It is a question that cuts to the core of faith, challenging the very foundations of belief. The biblical narrative, as told in the books of Kings, presents a stark and often brutal answer. The idolatry that began under Solomon's reign spreads like a plague, corrupting the hearts of kings and prophets alike. The northern kingdom of Israel, under the leadership of apostate kings like Jeroboam, and the southern kingdom of Judah, with its own line of wayward rulers, including Rehoboam, fail to uphold the covenant with the Lord. The few bright spots, such as the reforms of Hezekiah and Josiah, are fleeting moments of hope in a relentless tide of apostasy. The story of Israel's decline is a cautionary tale, a narrative of divine patience and human rebellion. Despite the fierce protests of covenant loyalists like Elijah, Elisha, and Isaiah, the course of history seems predetermined. The Assyrians lay siege to Samaria in 722 BC, and the Babylonians capture Jerusalem in 587 BCE. The once proud nation of Israel is reduced to ruins, its people exiled and scattered. The covenant that was meant to be a bond of eternal fidelity ends in shattered promises and the bitter taste of defeat. But to ask if God fails is to misunderstand the nature of the divine. God, as depicted in the biblical narrative, is not a passive observer, but an active participant in the unfolding drama of human history. The covenant with Abraham was a middle path between creation and destruction, a compromise that allowed for both human fertility and divine restraint. When Israel breaks this covenant, God's response is not one of mere disappointment, but of judicial action. The Assyrians and Babylonians, though instruments of divine judgment, become part of a larger narrative of international involvement. God's scope broadens and his character evolves. The Lord, as the supreme deity, is not confined to a single nation or a narrow geographic region. The destruction of Israel and Judah is not a sign of God's failure, but a demonstration of his sovereignty. The Lord's involvement with Assyria and Babylon is not a new covenant, but a temporary alliance to achieve a specific purpose. Once this purpose is fulfilled, these nations, too, may face the consequences of their actions. The Lord's character, defined by his actions, suggests that he is capable of both creation and destruction, of both mercy and judgment. The prophets, in their oracles, further develop this nuanced understanding of the divine. The Lord is not a static figure, but a dynamic presence, adapting to the changing circumstances of human history. The shift from a war god, reminiscent of Baal, to a more diplomatic and strategic deity, akin to El, reflects this evolution. The Lord's actions, whether through direct intervention or through the manipulation of nations, demonstrate a profound engagement with the world. The covenant with Israel, though broken, does not signify the end of God's involvement with humanity. Instead, it marks a new chapter in the ongoing story of divine-human interaction. The literary artistry of the biblical narrative is evident in the way it transforms historical events into a cohesive and compelling story. The fall of Israel and Judah is not just a historical account, but a moral and theological reflection. The Deuteronomistic history, with its emphasis on the consequences of covenant breaking, provides a framework for understanding the events. The prophets, with their powerful oracles, offer a deeper insight into the character of the Lord and the nature of his relationship with humanity. In the end, the question of whether God fails is not a matter of divine success or failure, but of human responsibility and divine justice. The biblical narrative is a call to accountability, a reminder that the choices we make have consequences. The story of Israel's decline is not a tale of divine impotence, but a testament to the enduring nature of the covenant. Despite the failures and the exiles, the promise of restoration remains. The Lord, as the God of Israel, is a God of both judgment and mercy, a God who remains engaged with the world and its people. In the shadow of ancient ruins, the question, "Does God fail?" finds its answer in the resilient hope of a people who continue to seek the divine, even in the darkest of times. The story of Israel is a reminder that the divine-human relationship is a complex and dynamic one, shaped by both human action and divine response. The covenant may be broken, but the promise of a new beginning remains. The Lord, in his infinite wisdom and power, continues to work through the chaos of human history, guiding and shaping the destiny of nations and individuals alike. In the end, the story of Israel's fall and the question of God's failure are not the end of the story, but a prelude to a new chapter. The divine-human relationship, though tested and tried, endures. The Lord, as the God of both judgment and mercy, remains a constant presence in the unfolding drama of human history. The question, "Does God fail?" is answered not by the events of the past, but by the hope of the future. In the midst of ruins and exile, the promise of restoration and renewal offers a glimmer of hope, a testament to the enduring nature of the divine covenant.